Hey everyone, welcome back to Trek on the Tube. This is my review and Easter eggs video for Star Trek Discovery Season 1, Episode 4, The Butcher's Knife Cares Not for the Lamb's Cry. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that the unusually long episode name is very reminiscent of the original series, and I like that. Okay, so Episode 4. I found it weaker than Episode 3, but better than the premiere. You see, ever since we actually got to the USS Discovery, the series has felt more Star Trek, and that's probably why I prefer the newer episodes over the pilots. That being said, sadly, Episode 4 has some clunky moments, so let's get that out of the way first. Now, certain issues I have can be dismissed easily, as explanations aren't that hard to find. For example, Vulcan and his crew have been scavenging for 6 months, but have never sent a shuttle out for help. It can be justified by saying they don't have shuttles, and they don't have shuttles because the ship is ancient. Also, Vok is playing around with this holographic display that seems even more advanced than anything we've seen in Discovery so far. But again, it can be justified by saying the sarcophagus ship is unique and the technology on board is specific to that uniqueness. Another issue people have been pointing out on social media, this time regarding the Starfleet side of things, is the Discovery could have done multiple smaller jumps rather than one big one. The way I explain that is by saying multiple jumps would have been too time and resource consuming. However, there are issues that cannot be dismissed that easily. Captain Georgiou's telescope, for example. How the hell did it get off the Shenzhou? Either someone took the time to save the telescope before evacuating on the escape pods, or someone went back there after the battle was over to retrieve it. In the first scenario, why didn't anyone take the time to self-destruct the ship instead of or while saving the telescope? Leaving a Federation ship out there to be used and analyzed by the enemy during a time of war doesn't seem like the best idea, even if it's an older ship. If it's the second scenario and someone went back after the battle, the same questions arise, and more. Why not blow up the ship, or why not simply take it with you if possible? How did Vok and his crew not notice something was going on and take advantage of the situation? The telescope finding its way to Burnham created a lot of inconsistencies that I feel could have been simply avoided if Georgiou's last words had come alone, with no gift. Going back to Vok, I understand he felt scavenging the Shenzhou for parts was in contradiction with T'Kuvma's teachings, but 6 months have passed and he didn't step foot on the ship even once? He's not a very bright military officer, is he? I mean, why didn't he rip the ship apart to try and learn as much as possible about Starfleet technology? He could have even used that as leverage when Cole comes back. You need to take me with you because I know more about Starfleet vessels than any other Klingon. Another thing is the mirror Burnham used in the beginning of the episode. It's clearly holographic technology and clearly more advanced than the holocommunicators. Now, that seems logical. I assume it's easier to make a holographic mirror than a live communication device, so naturally, it would be more advanced. But my real problem here is, why? Why did they feel the need to make the mirror holographic? First of all, it's impractical because it's prone to malfunction. Second, it completely breaks canon. Mirrors in Star Trek have always been mirrors. The only reason I can think of why they did this is because it looks cool. I understand the show needs to appeal to a younger audience and a broader audience, so things looking cool are important. But a reflection is a reflection. Even if it's holographic, no one cares. That's not the cool people are looking for. I know it may seem like I'm going on about something that isn't that important, but it is. It gives you a glimpse at what's going on in the mind of those that are creating the show, and to some certain extent it doesn't really reassure me. Other than that, the story was good. We see the displacement-activated Spore Hub drive work its magic, or torture, and the Discovery saves a mining colony. I'm happy to see Discovery slowly move into a deeper level of storytelling. Star Trek has always brought us episodes that make us think, question the pros and cons of the situation presented to us, and using the tardigrade against its will with the Spore drive does just that. Is it plain unethical, or does winning the war, saving millions of lives and stabilizing part of the Beta Quadrant justify using the poor creature against its will? The theme was very Trek. Captain Lorca even takes the time to say that his officers are all wide-eyed scientists that aren't ready for war, and it pleased me to hear him say that. I found the acting to be as good as the previous episodes, the CG not as good, mostly when it came to the tardigrade, and the directing was very interesting. We get that close-up shot of Burnham's uniform being synthesized, which put me off a little at first. To be honest, I thought we were seeing some sort of spatial anomaly until the camera pulled back from the uniform. It was a great way to put things into perspective. As you can see with each new episode of Discovery, my opinion is both divided and united by yeses and nos. I enjoy the episodes, I think they're very well made, but something inside me can't help but feeling off. It's It's very strange. Okay, let's move on. Easter eggs and observations. Corvin 2, the planet home to the mining colony, has already been mentioned before in The Next Generation. It actually ties in quite well because in The Next Generation it's said the planet's rainforests were home to the Corvin Gilvo, which were threatened by industrial pollutants. God damn it, dilithium mines, you're killing the Corvin Gilvos. A lot of the Klingon houses named in Discovery have already been featured or talked about in other iterations of Star Trek. For example, House Mokai or House Kor. Captain Lorcan name drops the Wright brothers, Zephyr Cochrane and Elon Musk. When Vok picks up the pad in the Shenzhou, we learn Captain Georgie received the Legion of Honor, which Scotty and Data will also get, and Burnham received the Vulcan Scientific Legion of Honor, which Spock also has. At one point, the word assimilation is used, and though it's probably not a direct reference to the Borg, I'm sure all the writers and fans alike couldn't help but think of them. Okay guys, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, leave comments, and as always, live long and prosper. Ha! You were expecting the music, weren't you? Sorry to bust in vlog style like this, but yesterday, as I was working on the video, I also did a collaboration conversation with a bunch of Trekkies from YouTube. The Final Frontier, Irish Trekkie, and Trekker Prize, a couple of friends of mine. We talked about episode 4 and our feelings about Star Trek Discovery in general, so you might want to check that out. I'll leave all the links to their channels and to the conversation in the description. Okay guys, cue the music. This time for real.